But for now, each one is playing this to their advantage. It's a shrewd move. It began with Amy Klobuchar. They all spoke, even when they didn't know the results. So the implications of all of this in Iowa, by another couple of hours, we'll have an idea of most of the results. But again, there were a lot of people sort of plotting lawsuits and challenges, and you know how that goes. Enter Andrew Napolitano, senior judicial analyst, the judge, as we like to call him. Much, much more to us here. It's going to be a litigation, isn't it?
I would think so. You know, someone either improperly designed this app or improperly manufactured it or improperly installed or improperly tested it. There was a breakdown somewhere along the line. We know that the Iowa Democratic Party rejected, you know why I'm laughing in a second, an offer to have it tested by President Trump's Department of Homeland Security. They said it wouldn't be a political test. It would just be their technical people testing it, and they said no. So we don't know what kind of test they went through, but your comments at the end of the last segment that this takes the bad memories of Florida away, this is almost worse than Florida.
I think it's much worse.
Because it is system-wide. It was brand new. It was intended ever to prevent something like Florida from happening again.
So let me ask you a question. If you are, this is a hypothetical, so indulge me, that it's a good night for Bernie Sanders, but he doesn't get the sort of wind at his back effect, halo that he would typically get with the results that night if they don't come in for another day or two where the magnitude of a potential Bernie victory is shown. Could he or his people go back to Iowa and just, we're going to sue you for this?
I doubt it. I mean, it would be very, very difficult to prove, again, just using this hypothetical,
right,
that Bernie, who really won Iowa, didn't get the momentum in time to win New Hampshire. That would be very difficult for a judge or a jury to find. Look, Iowa is strange. Ron Paul told Stuart Varney this morning, I remembered it when he said it. When he ran in 2012 against Mitt Romney, Romney soundly defeated him in the popular vote in the caucuses. He got 80% of the delegates.
That's right.
Ron Paul did. It's not a system where the votes correlate mathematically. The voters' wishes correlate mathematically to the number of delegates. There's some mystique in there that unless you're born in Iowa, you really don't understand. But what happened last night is humiliating. And apparently similar software is ready to go in Nevada.
Well, Nevada says they're not going to have the same problems. I don't know whether that means the exact same software or contrary version is being used. But you mentioned the 2012 race. I can remember that one because Rick Santorum technically won Iowa.
Yes.
But he didn't get the benefit that at the time Mitt Romney did.
Right.
And that's why I was hearkening back to the Sanders camp analogy that this is robbing us of precious, fuel for New Hampshire.
I know that is their plan, that whoever truly won last night hoped to be crowing about it this morning and take that momentum in, because the New Hampshire primary is a week from today. It's not going to happen. They're not even going to know who won until sundown in New Hampshire tonight.
All right, so let me ask you about what this says about the race itself. Now, the political view is that the Democrats are a mess. They can't get their act together. The president was saying as much late last night, tweeting about it. Does this foster a concern about the reliability of elections going forward? In other words, are we replanning 2,000 seats again?
Wow. I mean, this is the first time that I know of that an election was recorded by distributing apps to the county registers and the precinct chair people. Whether or not we'll do that again, I don't know. You don't think they're going to go back to old-fashioned paper ballots? Guess what? The paper ballots have a paper trail, and you can count them.
Well, that's exactly it. Say what you will of it, but if you're concerned that something might have been rigged or a foreign entity was trying to hack the election, the paper ballots as a backup do serve a good purpose.
It appears, now I wasn't on the phone call, but some of our colleagues were, that there was no hacking, that this is an internal defect. It wasn't anybody's chicanery trying to change
we should stress that, but now let's say you didn't have a great night, you're Joe Biden, you can make claims that there's nothing reliable here.
Right. Right, I really won.
Yeah.
Is Uncle Joe going to say that tonight?
Yeah, there's no upside there.
Yeah.
Do you think the president will mention impeachment tonight in the State of the Union?
Knowing the president, I think he will find that a temptation too delicious to resist. He's going to be 2 feet in front of Mrs. Pelosi's nose and staring the Democrats in the face. Yeah. How could he resist it?
Would it be funny if he turned around to her and did like...
Do they hug each other? Do they shake hands? Do they make eye contact?
It's all that body language stuff, you know. All right, thank you, my friend. You're the best.